Hello there, guys, and welcome back to my channel for the player ratings and live review live stream following Chelsea 2, Leicester City 1, revenge for the FA Cup final. Pies told me, where was this on Saturday? I'm like, well, better we got it now than we never did it. So I'm gonna just try to focus on all the positives. That's what I'm gonna try to do because I'm hyped. You know, the first half was amazing. Other than that, we couldn't score. Second half was brilliant. Other than that, Kovacic's mistake. And then we even got a lovely fight at the end. I love a good fight. I love a good fight on the pitch. Big fan. And we got the dub in the end. We're up to thirds. Like Pice just told me off air, only 4 points of second. It's all a madness. And at the end of the day, I'm not complaining. I can't complain. I'm happy. I am happy. Obviously, we still need a result against Villa unless Liverpool or Leicester bottle it. Well, Liverpool in the game until then, or the last day, and Leicester obviously on the last day against Spurs. We still need a result. But hey, it's even more in our hands now, I suppose, than it was before today. And it was a good performance. At the end of the day, it was a good performance. That's the usual thing of us this season. We can't kill teams off. We can't take chances. And we score about 15 offside goals, handball goals, and VAR hates us. But aside from that, it was great, wasn't it, Pice?
Yeah, it was very good. It was much better. The fans as well, I just want to say the fans were amazing. And that's what I was saying on the weekend as well. The Leicester fans were so good. They almost gave them an extra push. Like, they were out singing us. And I was just, maybe we would have played a bit better if our fans could have gave us a bit more of a push at Wembley. But tonight, I mean, man, 8,000 as well. Like, I've been to stadium loads when there's like full pack 43,000. It's nothing like that, on some games. It really isn't sometimes. People wouldn't believe me, but sometimes it's really dead. So to have, 8,000 fans singing like that was crazy. And the at the end as well, what I really liked, all the players were walking around clapping and stuff. So yeah, I really liked that moment, even watching it on the TV. And yeah, I mean, we performed quite good, to be fair. I don't know how we didn't have about 5 goals in the first half, but that's typical Chelsea. So I mean, yeah, it's a big result though, man, because we can go with to Aston Villa with confidence. That's going to be hard because they've got fans back. It will definitely be a difficult game, but why can't we at least go and get a win? And we've got a cushion now. Hopefully Leicester can drop points against Spurs. So we'll see what happens. But tonight is massive, yeah.
100%. It is massive. And like you said, for the fans, 100% true. They turned up. Although I will say this, having a lot of experience of going to rather empty football stadiums, living in Austria, it's in a weird way, it almost makes it louder when it's not full, because obviously the seats, the concourses and everything, it almost makes the noise bounce around more. While if there's people, but only, say if there's 43,000, but only 8,000 of them sing, it's much quieter than if 8,000 sing and there's only 8,000 there. Do you know what I mean? So that is actually a thing. Like, even the 2,000 we had for that Leeds game was louder than sometimes at full Stamford Bridge. Obviously, part of it has to do with, the fact that people are back and everything. And yeah, I saw that. I didn't see that he got Edu's shirt, but I saw that he met Thiago's wife. Big up yourself, Dammy. Big up yourself. Why aren't we scoring goals? It's a problem. Because much more fun making it difficult, I suppose. Because I don't see another logical explanation, to be totally honest with you. But, I mean, can we really complain about much today, other than the fact that we didn't score and the fact that we let off a little bit after we scored the 1-0 and didn't make sure we get our second quicker? I mean, we got it in the end anyway. I suppose we let it off a bit too much after the 2-0, but it's a big win. Like, it's a big win. And I was hoping for this reaction. I was a bit scared we wouldn't get this type of reaction from the squad. I wasn't sure how much they'd be up for revenge, but they really were. Like, from the first minute, they turned up. I'm like, and we're like, we're gonna show you we're better. You got lucky in the final, but we're gonna show you we're better. That's what it felt like from minute 1 for me, at least.
100% agree. We was on them from first minute. We was relentless, really. Like, I've never seen us attack so much. It really was. We had 11 attempts in the first half. I don't know how we didn't score more. I mean, Werner offside again, and then obviously the handball one. So that was very annoying. But yeah, I mean, we really did play well today. Really did play well. Shame Kante had to go off as well with a slight injury. But for anyone worrying, Tuchel did say that, Kante said, can I come off before it gets worse? So I think he'll probably be fine for Aston Villa. And yeah, hopefully Kai will be fine as well, because, even though people say, "Oh, Kai's not that good in front of goal," you can use Arsenal as a reference with the 1v1 and others, but still, I think he probably would have scored tonight with the amount of chances we had in the box. So, but yeah, I mean, great result, man. Honestly, we're in third now, so it's in our hands. We just got to not bottle it.
We just got to not bottle it. That's literally it. We just got to not bottle it. And I suppose, I mean, we was texting before the game when the lineup came out, and I suppose we got to discuss that. I was not happy about one thing. Well, I suppose two, but one of them was Havertz being injured. Well, not playing, but he's injured, so I was okay with it, if that makes sense. The fact that Reece remained at right centre-back, fine, but I really didn't need Aspie at right wing-back today. I mean, we won. It didn't matter. And Aspie, I mean, nearly scored once again, but I was like, you could have just played Callum there today. You could have played Callum. But at the same time, I also understand, I mean, Tuchel literally said the game today was essentially bigger than the FA Cup final. I mean, when he was brought in, his objective given by the board, given by Chelsea, was get top four, not win the win the FA Cup. So I suppose fair enough. But you weren't too happy with the lineup, were you, initially? Or did kind of hindsight change that a little bit?
It was just Werner for me. I did a tweet the other day. I would have liked to have seen just Giroud in these important games for me. I just want to give him more of a go because I know he does score clutch goals, and it's just a bit annoying because you never know before kickoff. Like when you see Werner in the lineup, you never know what sort of game it's going to be. Like I thought he played all right today, but again, 2 disallowed goals. Like it's just annoying, but I don't know. I guess the thing is with Werner, he's so likable, so it's like you almost want to like him, but at the same time, he's so annoying. Like, in his interview after the game, all the players were shouting, like Timo, and everyone seems to love him. The fans were doing his chant, like his new chant, all the time. So, I mean, the fans clearly like him. It's just, I guess we're just trying to support him as much as possible because he does things right, but he does the wrong. The things that he does wrong, he does them incredibly wrong, and they always cost us. Like being offside, like handballing it instead of using his head. You know what I mean? It's just, yeah. But to be fair, I mean, we got the result, and he did play all right. To be fair, and he won a penalty again, so I can't be too annoyed with him. I don't think. I think that'd be a bit harsh if I was, to slate him after today.
100%. I mean, we'll get to his rating in a bit. Obviously, for me, Timo was a weird one. He was at the same time absolutely amazing, while also absolutely dreadful. He managed to pack that all in the same game. That's what he was, because some of it, like that, obviously in the end it didn't work. Our first chance of the game really was an unbelievable dummy by Timo to get through 2 Leicester players in midfield, run with the ball. But then he literally had Pulisic, who made a great run between 2 defenders. The defending was shocking. He literally had 5 yards of space all to himself, Pulisic. He made sure he stayed on side, but Werner maybe didn't have the confidence to play the pass, which is also fair enough. I probably prefer him completing the pass to Chile than messing it up badly when he tries to find Pulisic. But we're playing for Chelsea Football Club. He had to. I expect you to be able to play that pass. Instead, he found it to Chile, who had a much more difficult finish in the end, and we didn't score, which was frustrating. But then Timo is just that guy, right? Timo Werner, when he's offside, is literally online Ronaldo. Like, his finishing is unbelievable when he's offside. The second he's onside, it's like he turns into, I don't know, Kesman. Like, it's crazy. But obviously, we had the VAR referee decision. I'm like, he did win us a penalty in the second half anyway. But how on earth he didn't get a penalty for that in the first half? Tielemans literally kicked his leg. He literally just kicked him. Like, there is no logical explanation of why he wouldn't give the penalty. And even if you say, yeah, but Werner didn't actually touch the ball, so you could argue Tielemans still had possession because Werner didn't actually dispossess him. By that logic, you are saying, if I don't have the ball, you are literally allowed to kick me in the face, but because I don't have the ball is not a foul. So no, that's nothing to do with it. It's a penalty, and I do not understand why it's not a penalty. It's crazy. He can only score when he's offside. No, it's true. And by the way, Timo Werner is currently the player that's been most offside in all of the Premier League. I'm not sure whether he was offside again in the second half. I actually think he might not have. But at halftime, he has been offside 41 times this season. 41 times. I don't know who's second in the stats, but still, 41 times. So you're taking the Michael. I mean, even Morata wasn't offside that much. Maybe Morata didn't play as much in a single season as Timo has this season. But still, triggering me. But like I said, man was throwing in tackles at our own, around our own box. He was doing all sorts. He was brilliant. I will say it to the fans, like you said, they're all supporting him. They're all liking him. I wish they had the same energy for everybody, Jorginho, rather than booing him. But I prefer that they do it that way than any other way, because people have been critical. Myself, you, a lot of people, and I'm sure most of the people that chanted for him today have also been critical. But that doesn't, be critical after the game. Be critical in midweek when you're chatting to your mates, when you're chatting at work, whatever you're doing, even on Twitter, as long as you're not abusive. But when you're in the ground, support the players. Support the players, shout for them, because booing them, growling, like being disappointed, moaning, it's not going to make them play better now, is it? We're not Real Madrid. We don't boo our players. And it didn't happen a lot. It happened for Bakayoko and it happened for Jorginho. It's the two main ones I remember, when it wasn't the whole team after poor performance. So, I was very happy with that from the fans, and fair play to them. But what about that first half, Pys? What about that first half? I mean, that was ridiculous, wasn't it? Like I said, we should have been 2, 3, 4, 5, 6-0 up. Obviously, offside goal, handball goal. The handball one is a weird one anyway for Timo, because you can say he's unlucky. You can also say, why didn't you just hit the ball with your head? Don't miss it. Essentially, just missed the ball, hence why it hit his arm. Or he misjudged it for the most part. He could have just chested it in, because the header was actually difficult because of how the ball was coming down. Could have just chested it home. Would have been the most simplest finish, probably. But what a weird first half. How did we not score? That Mason nutmeg for the setup for Pulisic, which Schmeichel saved. The Schmeichel save from Mount's effort. Oh my days, it just wasn't happening for us, was it?
No, it wasn't. And, it was kind of like a story of our time under Tuchel and a little bit under Lampard. I mean, yeah, I don't know how we didn't score. Like, some of these games, I just lose words, honestly. I'm just like, from the one where Schmeichel saved for Mount, I thought, that was going to go in, but it was kind of like high. And then obviously Werner had the offside goal. And then there was a couple of crosses across the box, which were like so close. And then, yeah, it was just, it was a madness. And going into half time, I was like, there is surely no way we don't score in the second half. Like seriously, this is literally an onslaught. And then to get a goal really early was nice, because, it just gave us that cushion and that confidence. You never want to leave a game 0-0 60, 70 minutes, because it gets even more tense, especially inside the ground with fans. So to get a goal early, was really nice with Rudiger. And deserves it, to be fair, because Rudiger's been so good under Tuchel. Really, really good, really consistent. I was very happy to see him get a goal. And obviously at the end with the fight and stuff, the guy just loves it, man. Honestly, I don't know why he isn't our captain, or at least one of our contenders for it, because he literally, you can clearly see he loves the club. He proves it. He describes Chelsea for me. He just gets involved, gets stuck in, goes in for big challenges. He doesn't back down from anyone or anything. For me, that's a description of a captain. I don't know what you think, but for me, it is. So we'll see going forward. I mean, but yeah, incredible performance by Rudiger. I just wanted to say a little bit about him, because I thought, the whole package tonight, I thought he was superb.
Yeah, no, I mean, for me, he's just maybe a tad too hot-headed to be the captain, because sometimes Rudiger needs calming down by other people, and the manager the captain shouldn't be the guy that needs calming down. The captain should be the guy that does the calming down. So I think he should be maybe one of the captains, maybe not vice captain, but third captain, even though that's not a thing. But in my opinion, I always say this: you can be a captain without ever wearing the armband, and he's certainly personifying that, and I think he's doing a great job at it. While I do think he was poor in the final on Saturday, absolutely fantastic today, and at the end as well, he was taking none of it, and I was very, very pleased. Before we get into the player ratings in just a second, guys, if you're new here, please be sure to subscribe. Again, thank you for hitting 10,000 subscribers the other day, but we're not stopping here. We're on the road to 15k now, 20k after that, and who knows where we end up. So if you're new here, please be sure to subscribe whether you're watching this right now or whether you're watching this later on when this has turned into a video, and smash the like button as well. Make sure you smash that like button right now. And and I mean, Rudiger, 100%. He was absolutely fantastic. And the only thing, like I said, I want to hear what you think about that, because we got that goal so early in the second half. But again, after that, we weren't anywhere near as, aggressive in trying to score a goal as we were before. Sure, you go 1-0 up, you take it a little bit easier. But with our bad luck the last few games, we're not in a position to take it easy. Just go for it and get at least a second goal. I know we did eventually, but that was kind of just more happened than we were proper going for it. And that's been a problem for so many years at Chelsea. Conte's second season, especially. Sarri at times, Lampard at times. This season, I don't get it. Where this mentality has come from, that you just drop off and every manager complains about it, but they still always do it. So many different players, but they still always do it. I don't get why.
I just think they think they're comfortable, but they're really not. It's football, especially with Leicester. Like, I can understand it if it's like a really, really bad team, but even then, you still have to take everyone seriously. You know what I mean?
Especially if it's a really bad team, surely you should just be very confident of getting a second goal.
Yeah, but I guess I don't know what it is. Like, some teams are like it and some teams aren't. Like Man City, they don't let off. But I think that's installed in them from Pep. It's the mentality to always try and score and attack. I think Tuchel does want that, but I guess, just at the moment, it's... I guess because we have like 3 older players at the back as well, I guess they just, try and take control of the game and just... I don't know, we seem to slow things down a little bit, but I mean, sure, Leicester's goal woke us up, that's for sure. That got us back into it.
I also think not just that we play slow, I also think our press drops off significantly the second we go 1-0 up every time.
Yeah, especially when we went 2-0 up as well, to be fair. I think the game was, they thought it was pretty much done, and then obviously Kovacic got robbed by Ndidi, didn't, check behind him, and then bang, that's the goal. So it's as simple as that. Something so quick as that, it concedes you a goal. That's why you always have to be aware of your surroundings and play quick, fast football. But it's one of those. At least we got the job done, and we can't be too annoyed thinking about what could have happened. What actually happened is we won, so that's great.
100%. And of course, Jester, it is mentality, 100%. But why I'm almost asking the question is because it's happened for years. So loads of different players under loads of different managers. So, and it didn't used to be that type of mentality at Chelsea Football Club. So I don't know where this mentality has come from and why we're not managing to get it back out. That's the only thing. But at the end of the day, like I said, we can only be happy. We're up to 3rd. Sure, we still have to get a result, but is a draw actually enough? Or do we need to win, don't we, if the other 2 win?
We need to win our last 2, but I think if Leicester drop points against Spurs, I think we can then draw against Villa. I think that's what it is anyway.
If Leicester draw, I think we can even lose because we've got a better goal difference than them.
I'm not too sure. Yeah, true. We do have better goal difference. Yeah, I'll have to look into it a bit more, but
unless we lose by more than 3, because our goal difference is 3 better than theirs. So if we lose and they draw, we're still ahead of them unless we lose by more than 3.
Yeah, well,
we're not actually by more than 2 because they scored more than us. So if we lose 2-0 or more, we're done out.
Yeah, I don't think
2-0 is obviously fine, but 3-0.
I don't think we'll concede 2, to be quite honest with you. But you never know. But still, yeah, I'm trying to be more positive with Villa. I know they have fans and it will make a difference, but I don't know. Sometimes I feel more confident away, which is a funny way to look at things. So yeah, we'll see.
100%. And hey, Liverpool still play a game against Burnley with fans. So while Burnley got battered 4-0 by Leeds, that's how Burnley is. One game they're dreadful, and the next game they're great. They're great. And Burnley having fans back, Burnley, that feels like a game that would be difficult for anybody. Going to Burnley with fans back, I feel like. I could be proven wrong, but I feel like that won't be easy for Liverpool. Even West Brom at Anfield wasn't easy. You know how that went. Let's not hope. Let's just hope that Alisson doesn't score another header, because that was ridiculous. Me and Con were actually literally live as that happened, and we literally just like, what on earth is just happening? Like, the chat told us 2-1 Liverpool, and I was like, what? Then the next guy said Alisson. I was like, what do you mean Alisson? I checked the goal. I'm like, are you mental? It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. But hey, it's still all in our hands. And sure, Grealish is good. Sure, Villa have home fans, but there is also a good chance Leicester don't even get a win against Spurs. Of course, let's not rely on that, but we're still in a good position now. Let's be confident. Let's be happy. We've put ourselves in a good position. And, we've beaten the Juju, in my opinion. We've beaten the Juju. The first half Juju was crazy, and we still won the game. So that puts me in a positive mindset in the first place for me. But let's start with the player ratings. Edouard Mendy, I was petrified he was going to get sent off at the end because I thought Mike Dean might just book everybody. And Mendy, obviously, 2 minutes before, got a yellow card for time wasting. So I was petrified that he was going to send Mendy off now. Thankfully, he didn't. He made 2 fairly comfortable saves. Couldn't do nothing about the goal, I suppose. Although I'd have to see it back. I don't think he could. I don't know, 6, 7, something like that. Average rating, I suppose.
For Mendy, yeah, I mean, didn't really have to do much. I guess
No.
7, probably 6 or 7. Yeah, something like that. Feel really good for him as well because he had a moment at the end of the game with he had his kids on the pitch. He brought his kids on the pitch, and
Did he? Okay.
Yeah, and he actually asked for a football for them to kick around. So that was quite a nice moment for him. And yeah, I feel really happy for him in general. To be fair, just with his career and how it's transpired and stuff. And yeah, obviously, it looked like Dami got his shirt as well. If any of you guys know him, so that was crazy. And then Dami meets Thiago Silva's wife, which is crazy. So
how's Dami pull that off anyway? I don't even really understand.
Silva's wife is crazy. Like the video is brilliant. So if you guys know Dami, then go and check out that video because it's class.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the Mendy one maybe I can see because Dami is huge. So, Dami's probably, because he's 6'5", if people don't know. So he probably finds it quite easy to, make people aware of him. And he's a big guy. Mendy's a big guy. So maybe he just gave his shout to the big guy. Maybe it was one of those. I don't know. But fair play to him. Big. Absolutely big. But yeah, 6, 7 rating. I don't know. You know what? Just because he turned up in the fight at the end, I give him a 7 because I loved it. Man came steaming in and was getting right involved, and I'm a big fan of that. Reece James, again, today without a mistake, he's a hell of a right centre back.
Bro, he's sick. Like I've been pushing this for so long. Like I was like,
true, you have, and Matisse as well, and fair play to both of you.
I was like, can we please just try Reece as a right centre back? Because I don't see how in a back three it wouldn't work. Like he's rapid, he's strong. And he's good on the ball, and he's actually good in the air. Like this guy was the one who outjumped 6'7" Dan Burn. Like he's very good in the air. He's got a leap on him. So I just when we didn't play it, I was like, you know what? One day when we play it, I bet it'll work because it just makes sense to work. You know what I mean? There's nothing there that I think it couldn't work. He's very good 1v1. We saw that with Vardy again today. Vardy trying to run in behind him and Silva and Rudiger. They all had him on lock. Like. It was crazy. Yeah, very, very good performance from Reece, I think. Probably, I think he was one of the standouts in the back. But then again, I thought Silva and Rudiger were just as good, to be honest. I thought they were all very good, especially Rudiger. I mean, Rudiger maybe a tad higher, but yeah.
I would agree. I mean, I would be inclined to give... It's weird because the central centre-back is so much more protected. So the central centre-back just physically has to do less or has an easier job to do, but also Thiago makes everything look easier because he's always in the right spot. So what I see makes me think, okay, I want to give Reece a 9, Thiago an 8.5, Rudiger a 9.5. But it's probably fair to give Reece and Thiago a 9 and Rudiger a 9.5 because of the goal.
Yeah, or maybe 8.5s and then Rudiger 9. Not sure which one I'd go with.
Yeah, that's fair as well, to be honest. That's fair as well. But I would really like to give Reece a 9 because I know he's played there in the youth game in the youth teams, but I still think it's so impressive that you get just thrown in there. And I know in the lead build up to the Tielemans goal, that pass wasn't great, but essentially he was absolutely amazing in a new position for 2 games straight against a good team. Like that's really difficult to do. And I almost want to, I know that's not necessarily just judging his on-pitch performance, but and kind of taking other things into consideration. But still, I think that almost warrants a higher rating just because he's not used to playing there, if that makes sense.
No, yes, it's 100% agreed. Like, yeah, that's definitely a reason you could add more points. I mean, he hasn't played there much, and when he has, he's looked really good, apart from obviously the last game when he gave the ball away. But to be honest with you, the FA Cup goal, like, I've seen people analyse like the build up to it, and it's like Tielemans scored from like 30 yards. Like, was you expecting that anyway? It's only when he scores.
Well, to be fair, it's not like Tielemans isn't known to shoot. Like we know that's a thing.
Like even so, that was an outrageous goal. Like it's only when those ridiculous goals happen that people look and start analysing things. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
I think,
100%. If he just skies it, no one cares.
Yeah, like in a normal situation, Reece just gives the ball away, and either not Mendy or Kepa saves it because it's a bad shot, or it goes over the bar. So, but it's just because it went in that obviously Reece got the criticism, and Jorginho as well. But yeah, tonight Reece was amazing. So for sure, if you want to give him a 9, then yeah, 100% deserved.
Let's give him 9, but I would actually almost agree, even though I don't necessarily think was much worse. I think Silva on an 8.5 is probably fair anyway. Or do you want to give him the 9 as well? I'll be okay if you want to.
I mean, to be honest with you, I want to give him the 9 just because his stats were really, really good tonight.
Okay, tell me the stats, bro. I haven't seen them yet.
So 100% duels won, which was 8 out of 8. 100% aerial duels won, 6 out of 6. Joint most clearances with 4. So that was posted by the stats. I don't know how to say it. It's like, is it Squawker or something? I don't know what it's called, but yeah, very good stats.
Whatever they are. No, that's fair. Let's give him a 9 as well. Then for me, I mean, Jester even said give Rudiger a 10. I think just because him and Jorginho nearly cost us the win by not defending well for Jose Perez chance at the end, that's why I can't give Rudiger a 10, because that defending was poor from him. Aside from that, he was absolutely amazing for the whole game. But that moment, I can't give you a 10 for that. Because if it's almost the same as with the Tielemans goal, just from a much more likely goal, if that makes sense. But that's a mistake. Just because Perez didn't score, people don't talk about it. But Jorginho and Rudiger both didn't look great there, so that's why I think you can't give him a 10 for me. Do you want to give him a 10? That's what your silence is making me think.
Wait, for Silva or Rudiger?
No, Rudiger.
I mean, it's hard not to say it, but I don't know. He's already on 9.5, isn't he? Like, maybe because
No. Sorry to interrupt. No. Vardy wasn't lying down in front of Rudiger. Rudiger was out with the guy that crossed the ball to Perez. The guy in the middle was Zuma, because Zuma obviously came on for Aspie. I mean, Sammy said 9.75. Fair enough. I think 9.5 is fine. You made one small mistake. Everything else was brilliant.
Yeah, I think 9.5 as well is really good. I think that's super high.
Yeah, no, that's true. And like Melinda said, hit the like button, turn it blue, because we have 170 people watching and only like 30 odd likes. Excuse me. So smash the like button right now, guys. Come on, go smash that like button for me right now. We need to get to at least 100 likes. Doesn't cost you any money, barely cost you any time. Go down below, turn that like button blue, because blue is the color, and not Leicester blue, Chelsea blue, like the badge. So click it and turn it blue. That's what we want to see. And then I suppose we get to the wing backs who, well, Chilwell, I was very happy with, but obviously first we have Aspie here. I don't really know how to judge him. He nearly scored, did a good job, didn't do anything wrong. I would give him like a, I don't know, 7.5, 8, something like that.
Yeah, I was going to say an 8. I think it was a solid all-round performance. Yeah, I think that's a fairly good rating. I wouldn't go any higher, but I think he did have a really good game. And obviously, I was expecting it as well, because Leicester, and I just wish he played cup final as well, but got to stop thinking about that, even though it's hard to.
Wait, you wish he played what?
The cup final.
Oh, us as a team, you mean?
Yeah, I wish he played, obviously.
Well, Aspie did play, bro.
Oh, no, I thought we were talking about Chilwell.
Oh, no, Aspie. Sorry, Aspie.
Oh, Aspie. All right. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I guess 8 works for him as well. I mean, he was pretty...
I would give Chile a bit higher than Aspie. But
yeah, I was going to say, yeah, if we're talking about Chilwell, a bit higher, but Aspie...
That's why I said 7.5 or 8 for Aspie for me.
Yeah, I thought he was talking about Chilwell, to be honest. But yeah, no, Aspie was pretty solid. To be honest, I didn't really notice him too much, but he did have some good defending. Like, he was really tight on who is it down their flank? What it was? Yeah, Thomas down the sides. Really.
What was the penalty by being close to, not the penalty, the corner that we made the 2-0, the 1-0 from? Yeah, by pressing literally by the goal line. Or
yeah, he made a mad run. Well, one time they nearly got ahead to. So I was like, damn, he's really up for it, which was good to see.
Yeah, exactly. But would you go 8 or 7.5 for Aspie?
I'll go 8 for Aspie.
Go on then. And then for Chile, 8.5? Yeah. I think 9 is maybe a bit too high, but 8.5.
Yeah, 9's probably a bit too high. I think he would have to probably have a goal for that.
Yeah.
And
I mean, he nearly did, to be fair.
Yeah,
I wasn't sure. Did you think he was trying to cross or shoot there? Very early,
Yeah.
with the Werner pass.
It was a difficult one. I'm still not quite decided, to be fair.
I think maybe he didn't know either.
Yeah, probably not. Owen Chilwell, but yeah, solid all-round performance. As I was saying before, when I thought we was talking about him, he's motivated and yeah, I always enjoyed watching Chilwell left wing back instead of obviously Alonso, because the overlaps, he's just better on the ball. He's faster. Like, it's just such a breath of fresh air to watch him instead of Alonso. Like,
yeah, no, I know it was deflected, Jester, but still, it wasn't either fully a shot nor fully a cross, I thought, in terms of the way he hit it, his body position. But yeah, no, he did a good job. For what I love about Chile so much is the fact, yes, for one thing, he slipped a weird amount of time today. Someone give him new boots, please. But he gives the ball away, and compared to a lot of other players that we have, Pulisic is someone, Ziyech is someone, Kai sometimes is someone, he loses the ball, and Alonso, obviously, he loses the ball, and he's straight after them. He's straight after them to get it back. And like TK13 said, he took the corner from which we scored the 1-0, even though it doesn't actually count as an official assist because I think Vardy got a slight deflection on it. But still, so essentially, no, it wasn't actually Aspie, it was Vardy that touched it. But yeah, so Chile, I think 8.5 is very, very fair. And we get to the midfield, so obviously Kante will be a bit difficult because it came off after half an hour. I'll give you the information that we know for right now when we get to him. So Jorginho, I thought he was good. Aside from the last 10 minutes, he looked tired because he wasn't really in 50-50s. He was always a step too late, and that's to me a sign of tiredness. But early on, man was winning big tackles, left, right, and center. I was very happy with him and scored a very crucial goal. And by the way, Jorginho is now Chelsea's Premier League top goal scorer. Not necessarily a thing that I think he wants to be or that the club wants him to be, but he still is. Even though he missed 2 penalties, he should be on 9. I think those 2 were in the Prem as well. But fair play to him. Probably give him an 8.2, maybe an 8.5.
Yeah, with the penalty as well. Like you were saying about the top scorer thing. That's quite something, isn't it? 7 goals and he's our top scorer, joint top scorer. Like, that's a bit scary. We definitely need to get a proper striker. But yeah. Anyway, very good performance. I think, as you said, I agree with the 50-50s at the end. There was one tackle where, well, it wasn't a tackle. He tried to go for the tackle and he looked like he was just absolutely dead. Like, he looked like he couldn't run anymore, didn't want to go for it, completely missed it. But yeah, all around decent performance, I think. Solid, good on the ball, passed it quickly, which I liked. Sometimes a bit too slow, but yeah, we was just on it as a team today, and I think they knew the importance of this win. Obviously, massive win. So yeah,
fair do. So would you say 8 or 8.5 for Georgie?
8.5, I think. Chilwell got an 8. Did he get an 8, or was it? 8.
No, Chile got an 8.5. Aspie got an 8.
Okay. See, I almost want to give him a 9 because he scored a goal, but I'm not sure what you think.
Yeah, maybe maybe penalties doesn't get you super high extra ratings.
I don't know though. Still, he's very good at what he does with the technique.
No, it's true. It's true.
I don't know.
Now, I think with those 2 errors, I think a 9 would be a bit overdoing it. If you want to put Aspie and Chile down by 0.5 each, I'd be okay. But I think not 8.5 is still fair.
No, yeah, keep it as an 8.5. It's high enough anyway.
True. His progressive passing was brilliant, especially once Kovacic came on. And this isn't a dig at Kante in the slightest, but it's just a different type of player. And Kovacic sits a little more next to him, meaning not as many defenders are or opposition players are in front of Georgie, but at least one of them is half next to him, which opens a little bit more space and also always tells Georgie he knows that if he can't find the forward pass, he can just pass it sideways to Kova. He knows where Kova is. While if he isn't sure about that, he needs to be more certain of his forward pass and can't change his mind last second without losing the ball in a bad position. But I suppose with that, we get to Kante. Just to inform you guys, so Thomas Tuchel post-game said it wasn't an injury as such, but Kante told him, if I play on, I could get injured here. So we took him off before we ever got to that point. So he's not injured as such, but was feeling it a little bit. And Tuchel even said he hopes he can play against Villa. So doesn't sound serious. That's positive. Although, would I, if Kovacic is capable of it, would I mind starting Kovacic, Jorginho against Villa? Absolutely not. I think they'd do absolutely fine. So Kante, I think he did good until he came off, but it was only half an hour, I suppose. So I don't know, 7.5, because I do think he did good, to be fair. Especially when he got involved in that attack as well that we had. Sorry, go on.
No, yeah, I was going to say, yeah, he did do well. Obviously, he gets lower, obviously, just because the amount of minutes he's on. But I still think 7 probably is fair enough for him. Yeah, I was impressed. I didn't notice anything that he did wrong, so that's always a good thing, isn't it? Especially in your midfield.
Yeah. I mean, would you be upset if I gave him a 7.5, or are you really adamant on the 7?
I think 7, just because of the amount of minutes he played. I think.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. That's fair. And Mason, bloody hell, I was so scared when he went down injured. I was so scared. Obviously, we saw the replay. It didn't look like he twisted his knee much, so I was hopeful. But he looked to be in a lot of pain. And obviously, if you've ever played football or any other sport where knees could collide, it's one of the most painful things, especially the inside of your knee. It's almost like there's some sort of, not liquid, but soft tissue in there that if that gets clattered, it just stings so bad and you can barely put any weight on it for like a few minutes. But 10 minutes later, you can't really feel it anymore. He'll be well bruised tomorrow, trust me. But I was so scared that he would be injured here. You as well, I presume.
Oh yeah, no, 100%. The injury was scary because originally I thought it was just like a clash of knees. I thought it'd be all right. Like he didn't on the replays. It wasn't like a look away moment. It was obviously just a collision. Obviously, it would have hurt, but I thought maybe it'd be up in like a couple of minutes. But it took longer than that, to be fair. And yeah, I mean, to be fair, at least he played on. At least he didn't have to come off because I thought he was really good throughout the game.
Yeah, and also like he didn't even come off late, so he clearly is absolutely fine.
Yeah, like for sure. Yeah, it didn't even like rest him at all. So yeah, the intensity. The one in the first half where oh god, did we nearly score? He chopped past someone. Like he just completely took it past someone out wide, and then I think it was a ball in the box. Can't remember what happened after. Was it?
One was the cross that I think that was the one that Aspie nearly got to.
Right, yeah.
And then he also had the Meg on the side, and then the sprint past everybody, and then the cut back to Pulisic when Schmeichel pulled off the save.
The second one is what I'm talking about. That was really, really good. Like
that was
like, oh my days.
Brilliant.
It's just ruined him completely.
Absolutely destroyed him. And again, Schmeichel pulled off a wonder save to keep Mount out as well. Quickly, I want to mention Aaron Superchat. I appreciate it a lot. Saying Rudy should get a 10 for the roulette. Love the roulette. And the shithousery. Hey, the shithousery was big time. And I loved it. Like I said, it was just the one mistake. Maybe we should give him a 10, to be honest, because he scored. Do you want to give him a 10, guys?
I want to be against it. I mean, just the good point with the obviously the aftermath as well and the fight. I mean, surely you're going to get extra points for that as well, especially in my mind.
Exactly. Off you go, Aaron. Off you go. I loved it. Big fan.
Two people. He was fighting Iheanacho and Ndidi at the same time. Like, this guy is crazy.
Exactly.
It's brilliant.
Exactly. And if Aaron, you want to share your thoughts, you want to change your rating, hey, drop a super chat, support the channel, and let me know which rating you're talking about. So why not? So that'd be sick. And of course, we have over 200 people watching. If you're new here, please be sure to subscribe. We just hit 10k, but on the road to 15k, 20k. So get involved, subscribe. There's content nearly every day. At this rate, right? So, we do previews the day before every game. We do these player rating review shows after every game. We do a show the day after every game called What We Really Learned from the Game. We do all of this. For the summer, I'll be planning to do, at least 4 to 5 to 6 almost news videos, not just streams in the summer. So there's going to be a lot of content. So get involved, get subscribed, smash the like button. For my drunk girlfriend here, why not? Off you go. Yeah. I suppose we were talking about Mount. With all of that said, I will probably give him a 9. I think that will be fair. Maybe an 8.5.
I was going to say 8.5, but I won't argue against you if you want to desperately give him a 9. He was really good. I think he did get the Sky Man of the match. Obviously, could have debated it. Could have easily gone to Rudiger, to be honest, but he did pretty well, I think. Especially going forward, like chance creation and stuff.
Exactly. Do you know what? Because I'm not really sure between the two either, and Pies doesn't seem to be 100% convinced. You guys put it in the chat, and what I see more between 8.5 and 9, that's what we're going to go with. I see one 8.5, two 8.5s, one 9. Northland against the Captain Aspie. One long time ago that we was talking about him. 3 8.5s. I'll give you another second because obviously it's a tad delayed. A 9. So now we're 3 against 2. You know, seemingly you guys don't seem to be that decisive either. Mounts 8, 8.5, 8.75, 9, 9, 8. I think 8.5 is probably fair with everything I've seen so far. He did good, but at the end of the day, he was still part of that front three that can't score a goal to save their lives. Not necessarily his fault because Schmeichel pulled off a wonder save against him again. Wasn't the one in the final enough, bro? Like, I'm saying, someone take Schmeichel to a doping test. That's ridiculous. The man's like, isn't he like 34 or 35 at this point?
Who is that?
Kasper Schmeichel.
Oh, yeah. I don't know if he's that old, but
34, yeah, he turns 35 this year.
I didn't think he was that old, to be fair. I thought he was like 30 or something, but that's mad.
Exactly. No, I only know this. Remember,
bro, he's very
I think
underrated.
it was the time when, I think it was after Kepa's first season. During the season, people were already talking about signing a keeper. Or was it instead of Kepa? I can't remember. So at some point, we were linked with Schmeichel anyway, and I was surprised that he was older than he was, but at the time it was like 31, 32, and obviously that's a couple of years ago, hence why I thought 32, 35, something like that. Yeah. But hey, fair play to him, to be honest. We won today, so I'm not going to be much upset about him. And Pulisic. We're going to have an interesting discussion about him today. Pulisic today, and I know you love Kovacic last season already, but for me, Pulisic today did what Kovacic did for most of last season, which is why I didn't necessarily agree with him being player of the year. He does all the fancy dribbles, but they never lead to anything. And he didn't release the ball quickly enough today. There was no link-up play with him. Never. Like, he always kept it. He never passed it on to create any link. Well, never is an over-exaggeration. I know Jester will have a go at me in a minute for this. I know, Jester. I'm sorry. But still, he just dribbles and dribbles and dribbles, but never gives it off in a useful position. But then also probably would have scored if Werner just fed him the ball literally like the 5th minute of the game. So, I would. No, I don't think he linked well today, to be honest. Like, I don't think Pulisic has great link-up play with any of our other players, personally. I think that's one of his biggest issues. I think he always seems to have misunderstandings with everybody, with Werner, with Ziyech, with Kai, with Mount at least, because they probably played the most together, obviously. But I feel like the other ones, there's always misunderstandings too many times, in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a hard one with Pulisic because I always think if you don't have, like I always say in our front three, who's the one that always makes a difference on the ball? I'd probably argue, like in terms of dribbling and getting away from players, it is Pulisic. I think Hudson-Odoi does do it whenever he plays in the front three. Like he's another real dribbler. But I don't know.
Like I said, like with Kovacic, he does that, but then they don't release the ball to the right person at the right moment.
See, last season I would have said maybe with Kovacic, but this season,
I agree. Yeah,
passing has got so much better.
I agree. That's why I made the comparison to last season. You're right.
But last season it was just Kovacic's consistency. Like this season, Mason Mount. Whenever you watch last season under Lampard, who was the best midfielder? Who was like the overall? Who stood out most? That was obviously Kovacic. Like he played like an 8 out of 10 every single game. He was brilliant. Like everyone moaned about him for not scoring goals, but it's not his job. You know, he's not an attacking midfielder. He plays in a pivot. You know what I mean? So. And he did
he should have had more assists. That's for sure. Because people have to go with Jorginho not having more assists.
Yeah,
Kovacic plays much higher up the pitch. He should have more assists.
You can argue, but the same thing is, people said that like when Kovacic was playing box to box, Kante was playing box to box. They're all like, "Oh, both should have more assists." But I don't know. He's not like.
No, he should. He should still. I'm not saying he should have 15, but he should have at least 6 or 7. Do you know what I
mean? I don't know. Depends on the attackers as well, I think.
Obviously, but Kovacic, you know how with Jorginho, you could make like a 15-minute compilation of attackers screwing him out of assists. That compilation will be a lot shorter for Kovacic. Yeah, because Kovacic doesn't choose to play those type of passes usually, in my opinion.
No, Jorginho is just a naturally better passer though. Anyway, like he's always been very, very good at passing. So, and he does, especially when he's playing like as deeper, and he can be that, deep line playmaker. He can be that. Kovacic, not as much as Jorginho, I will admit that, but still, like, I think if we're talking about this season, he's got a lot better at going forward and progressive passes, especially under Tuchel, I think.
No, I agree. I agree with you. Kovacic has certainly improved at it this season. I mean, like I said, was he the outstanding midfielder last season? Yes. But I don't think we had as such my player of the season last season, he didn't even play all the time, was Aspie. That's because I think he was the only consistent one whenever he did play. Because everybody else, Tammy brilliant at the start, shocking after that. Pulisic great in restart, half the time injured aside from that. And I feel like with Kovacic, we mostly remember the great games, and the average games people just forgot about because he dribbles. Not saying he was shocking ever, but just I didn't quite think it warranted play. But that's not what we're here to debate, really. I'm just talking about that's what I felt like with Pulisic today. And Jeff earlier said, but what about this link-up play moment? Yeah, but that's one moment in 90 minutes. If you can name me one moment in 90 minutes, that's clearly not good enough for a player of the ability of Christian Pulisic. And a lot of people in the chat saying 6.5. I'm seeing 4s as well, which I think is a bit harsh. Someone saying 7. Jester saying Aspie tax 4, 6.5, 5.5, or 6. I would have probably given him a 6.5 or a 6 for Pulisic. That's what I would have done.
6.5, I think, for Pulisic. Although, but I'm not going to lie though, Laurenz, I do feel like that's a bit too low for a 2-1 win, I think. Especially
because he did nothing. He was not involved in any of those things that we did.
No, but I think he won important fouls to relieve pressure, though, and that's always important. That's one thing I say for Kovacic as well. People are like, dribblers. You don't.
No, I disagree on that today. Today he got fouled too easily and too many times when he should have stayed on his feet and forced an attack. Porto was different, in my opinion. Today he got fouled way too easily. Get away from the guy, like. That was my thoughts today. But hey, I mean, we're here to disagree at the end of the day. If we always agreed on everything, that'd be well boring. But hey, I mean, to be honest, I'm leaning more towards 6. You're saying almost you're more leaning to a 7. So I suppose in the end, the 6.5 is where we're going to end up agreeing on anyway. Which I know you're not totally happy with, but I have a feeling we're going to have a slight disagreement on Timo in a second as well. So let's see what we end up there. I know we spoke about Timo at the beginning already. We spoke that fans picked him up and everything, which we were both very happy to hear. Again, offside goal, meh. Handball goal, meh. But won us 1 penalty, should have won us 2 penalties. And I mean, the bloody guy just works his socks off, doesn't he? Less so maybe in the final, but even then, I was happy with Timo today. I was happy. I know he didn't score, but I was happy with him. I would give him a 7. 7.5 maybe, but 7 because the offside annoys me.
Yeah, 7. 2 disallowed goals, and people say he's unlucky, but I mean, he handballed it and he was offside. Like, it's your job to stay onside. Same thing with Morata. People are like, oh, Morata's so unlucky. No, you make yourself unlucky because you can't stay onside. You know what I mean? So it was actually
that's honestly what I'd like. I'd really love to see the stat, how many times Morata was offside in his full season here. I'd really love to see that.
Yeah, I'll have to try and find out.
Yeah, honestly. I mean, if you want to do that while we're live here, off you go. But I don't think it was anywhere near 40. But also, he didn't play quite as much, maybe. But I suppose on a 7, we agree, which is a good rating. I mean, I wouldn't be totally against giving him a 7.5, but I think a 7 is still fair. It's still fair. You know, it reflects our performance, really. The fact that our defenders have 9, 9, and 10. Aspie with an 8, Chile 8.5, Jorginho 8.5. Mount as well, to be fair, but then we get to 6.5s and 7s with Pulisic and Werner. That reflects our performance because, again, we could and should have been 3 or 4 or 5-0 up by half time, but we weren't. So, and who's to blame for that? The forwards, clearly. So to start jumping about, but why aren't they all getting high ratings? Well, someone needs to score, and they're the forward, so they need to score. And let me just do that quickly. Let me just prepare something. Are you looking for this right now, Price, or what are you doing?
Yeah, I'm just scrolling through. I saw one which he was in the top 3, but that was Chris 24. Yeah, it's not too clear, but he was definitely up there in the top 3 at some stage. I remember saying here.
Yeah,
They said 20
Well,
times he was. 20 times.
but by what time in the season, I suppose, makes a difference.
That was... trying to find out. It's not too clear. Oh, that was in May, so... I think.
Well, that's half of what Werner's been upside.
Actually,
Obviously,
no. That was January, so...
So probably roughly the same in the end, but
Yeah.
he played less towards the end, so maybe a little less. But guys, we still have 240 people watching, and we haven't even hit 100 likes yet. Go down below and smash the like button for me right now. Come on, you've got to be happy that Chelsea got a huge job today. So make sure you smash that like button. Makes me even happier. Helps me push these videos out to more strangers, more new people as well, because YouTube loves likes on things. So if they see, oh, this has quite a lot of likes in comparison to views, they think this must be good content. Let's show it to more other people, so they can, see something new as well. That's how the recommended page works, guys. So please do me a massive favor, smash that like button. And of course, if you want to get involved, do use the super chat function. That, of course, would always be massively appreciated. I'm just trying to get the lineup up on a different type of screen here, so I can almost discuss a little something tactically. I'm not gonna do a Nini on you here, but just a little something that I want to almost mention. But yeah, almost done, guys. Almost done. Here we go. Share screen, Chrome tab, chosen 11. Off we go. So now you should be able to see this. I haven't filled the players yet. But let me just do that. Because what I want to talk about is how it was kind of only half of a 3-4-2-1 again today, because the front three were doing, slightly different things, if that makes sense. You know what I'm about to get to, Pies, anyway, but I just want to make it visual for people when I'm trying to explain what I'm talking about. I suppose that was more Mount. That was more Pulisic. That was more Werner. So, especially in the first half, it was more almost like this, and then once Kova came on, roughly the same. And that's almost more how we played. They were almost like two strikers. Man was kind of this left position here. Kante was this position here. And obviously, in the second half, I suppose it was more Kovacic. But still, essentially, it was more this. So, because I can already see me saying, Pulisic and Werner ratings, but Mount gets an 8.5, because he isn't a proper full-on here, right? He isn't really the guy that's meant to score, because that's how we line up half the time. So I just wanted to clear that up, why I'm not necessarily including Mount in that as much as maybe some others. That's the only thing I'm saying. When's the 10K giveaway? Oh, bro, it's coming. It's coming at the end of the season, Cronus. It's coming at the end of the season. But I respect you for remembering that, because I nearly forgot about it as well until I clocked the other day, and then I started sorting it. I won't lie to you. Why was Kante substituted? Because he was feeling his hamstring a little bit. I think it was his hamstring anyway. A little bit of an injury. But hey, at the end of the day, Tuchel said he might even be fine for the game against Villa, so it can't really be that bad. Mount looked like he was the false 9 position at times. I think it was more Pulisic that looked like he was a false 9 today. It was very often that I thought Pulisic was the most central of the three, which I thought was very interesting. But I suppose we get to the substitute players and get to the ratings. Kovacic did good, but in the second half, he had a few too many ball losses in our own half that were dangerous, and then obviously gave the ball away for the goal. But also played a couple of very good passes. He was on the pitch. You saw him. We didn't have that in midfield for a few weeks. Obviously, all three of our midfielders bring something different, which is partly the problem. If two of them could just merge and do it like a Dragon Ball and like do a whatever they're calling it when they turn it to one person, then we'd have one of the best midfields in the world, because whichever two of the one you want to pick, they'd be amazing. Sadly, you can't play all three if you play a double pivot. So he did good, but also obviously cost us a goal. We still won, but because he cost us a goal, 6.57. I know you're going to say at least 7. I know, Pies, I know. But I would say because of the goal he conceded, I think a 6.5 wouldn't be too outrageous. But I'd be okay with the 7, if that makes sense.
Yeah, totally. To be honest with you, I agree. I mean, his passing was a bit rusty. Apart from one pass, it was like a volleyed pass to Werner.
Yeah, that was a great pass.
But that was outrageous. Like, if Pogba did that, people would be clipping, oh my God, Paul Pogba, you know what I mean? So yeah. I was like, I was a bit gassed over that. But yeah, no, to be fair, it wasn't his best game. But to be honest with you, I don't really blame him. I mean, it's his first game back in like 3 weeks or something. Like, his passing was rusty, apart from that one. And obviously he got robbed. Yeah, I mean, that can happen. I mean, it's one of those, and it was kind of like, to be honest, actually, I think, was it actually Mason Mount, I think first ever goal for Chelsea. I think it was the first home game we played. And Didi got robbed by Mount. Literally exactly the same thing. Didn't realise he was coming from behind and then scored. So it was the exact same thing. So I mean,
it wasn't Iheanacho directly that actually robbed him, but yeah, no, 100%. Like, it happens. I think for the mistake, I don't think that has much to do with being a bit rusty. Some of the dodgy passes does. I think the other one, he was just not really clocking. Someone was behind him. Also fault of the other players. They need to tell him someone's coming because you don't have eyes behind you. That's why it's a team sport. That's why people shout man on all the time. That's why that's the thing. But still, so would you say 6 or 7.5? 6.5 or 7?
6.5, I think.
Fair dues. And to be honest, for Zuma, I mean, Zuma was getting involved in the fight, which is why I almost want to give him a rating. But really, in terms of what Zuma and Giroud did, obviously Zuma came on after like 88 minutes and Giroud came on after like 91. So they barely featured. I don't know. I give Zuma a 6 just because he got involved. And Giroud, I suppose, at NA because it was really not enough.
I don't know. I think both get NAs, I think, from me.
Yeah, to be honest, maybe it's harsh on Zuma. Maybe we should give him like a fighting score.
We should get everyone fighting scores. Like, Mendy gets a 15 because he ran from goal. I posted a video of it. And he got straight in there, shoved someone out the way, and then got right in the middle. It was brilliant. I loved that.
Yeah, it was so funny. The Sky Germany commentators, they were like, "What's Mendy doing here? He had a long way." And the next minute, Schmeichel turned up as well, and he said, "Well, if one goalkeeper's here, I have to turn up as well." I thought that was quite funny.
Yeah.
But there you go. Billy wasn't on the bench. I don't know who you're talking to, but fair enough. Bad decision by Tuchel. Should have put Billy on. No, he shouldn't. It was good. Kovacic needs minutes to come back. He absolutely does. And it worked out in the end, I suppose. And with Thomas Tuchel, well, I was slightly questioning the Aspie right wing work. I would have loved to see Callum today at right wing work just because I really wanted us to get at Leicester real hard for revenge. But in the end, it worked out anyway. That was my only real complaint with the formation. Aside from that, fair enough. I know you weren't all too happy with Werner, but Callum doesn't start in the front three. It just doesn't happen. So we need to just accept that. And would I have wanted Giroud or Tammy to start? Not really at this point. Not anymore now. Like I said yesterday in my preview, it's enough with experiments now. So I think Tuchel did a good job today, Got his revenge, take a big step in terms of achieving his main target that he was set as when he joined Chelsea. So I would say an 8 for Tuchel, 8.5 maybe.
Yeah,
if you want, we can give him a 9 as well, to be honest. But you're thinking lower by the sounds of things.
No, I'm probably thinking higher, actually. Like, I'm thinking maybe a 9, like you said. I'm just trying to think, like, throughout the game. I don't know. These subs, I thought I agreed with. I always look to subs. I think, it's
always more tricky with the subs when one is forced at half-time in the first half due injury, and the other 2 subs he only makes with like 2 minutes to go. So can you really even put any rating to the subs?
Yeah, no, but like he could have just done something weird where he could have put Mount in the pivot, brought a forward on. You know what I mean? At least he brought Kovacic on. That's what
I suppose, but I think if he did that, that would just be a down rating rather than not doing it be an up rating.
All right then, I'll give you that.
No, but I'd be okay with a 9 if you want to. I'm just not sure. Like, I don't know. I feel like a 9. The team was good, but I feel like today was more about the team than about the manager, personally. Hence why I'm not too crazy about giving a manager a high rating.
Yeah, I think also, like, as you said, I would have loved to see Hudson-Odoi start because, like, the link up down the right-hand side, especially when we're trying to get at teams. Yeah, I just want to see him more, but I don't know. That's not a knock on Tuchel because we won. It's just something that I would have personally liked to see. But I think, it's either an 8.5 or a 9. Maybe let the chat decide, see what they think. I don't know. I can't decide.
Yeah, fair point. Chat, what do you think? I've seen an 8. I've seen an 8.5 at least, to be fair. I've seen a few 9s. Put it in a chat. What do you think we should rate Thomas Tuchel? Like I said, actually, let's get to that. We spoke about him very briefly before we actually went live, mate. But what did you make of his comments that obviously almost hinting that this game today was quite a bit bigger than the FA Cup final, saying this was the target he was set out to achieve, getting top 4, which obviously today's game was much more important than the FA Cup final. But what did you make of those comments?
Yeah, just think it's board related. I think obviously coming down from the board, yeah, financials are far bigger, and I think the thing that people don't realise as well is we can't. Everyone's like, "Oh, Lukaku, Haaland, we need a big striker." We ain't getting a big striker if we don't get top 4. So this game today was massive because, yeah, if we get top 4, we can spend big. We can attract different types of players. Like, yeah, the cup final is massive, but it doesn't give you Champions League, which is unfortunately what Chelsea always at least minimum aim to get. So I wasn't as surprised or shocked by the comments as everyone. I think, like some of the replies were saying, Tuchel still wanted to win the FA Cup, and he was obviously visibly annoyed. It's not like he wasn't annoyed. It's just that's the target he was set out. What's he supposed to say? Oh, I would have, to be honest with you, I'd have liked to win the FA Cup more, or but it's a bit disappointing he didn't say, obviously, I'd like to win both. But I guess if he was asked again or at the end of the season, he's obviously going to say that. It's just right now, after the cup final defeat, if you're going to ask him questions, obviously he's going to go to top 4. He's going to make that the main point now because
but
no
you know why I think that's excuses personally, because where was that approach when we played Arsenal last week?
Well, he was annoyed, wasn't he? He was annoyed at the
team. He was annoyed, but the team selection, he was annoyed after the fact. But hindsight's a funny thing. You should have just made the right decision in the first place. And if top 4 was so much more important, you shouldn't have started Kepa with the final in mind. Not that Kepa was at fault for the Arsenal goal at all, but still, I've spoken about it before. The type of message. I'm like, if top 4 was so much more important than the cup final, why did you play a team in the league game before the cup final that was preparing for the cup final? And then after the cup final, because we lost it, you said the next game's more important anyway. I think it's kind of excuses.
Personally, I only agree with that on the Kepa thing. I don't think the team against Arsenal was preparing for the cup final. I think he picked the team that we thought would win, and that's why he was so annoyed after, because he was like, we missed a massive opportunity. So I don't think his attention was on the cup final. I think that'd be a bit harsh to say that, to be honest.
He started Zuma. His attention was on the cup final.
I disagree. I still think he picked the team to go out and win, to be honest with you.
Of course. No. Okay.
I
let me get that right. Just because he started team for the cup final, he didn't go into the Arsenal game saying, I want to lose now. Obviously not. But he knows for a fact that Rudiger is a better better player than Zuma, especially as a left centre back. So making that decision was prioritizing Rudiger's fitness for the cup final over getting the 3 points against Arsenal. That still shouldn't have been a reason to not get the 3 points, but it's still a decision to make.
I guess so, but I don't know. I just think that's a bit harsh. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe you're right. I am sounding a bit harsh. I'm not even saying I think it's bad that he's finding these excuses. I think it's totally natural. But I think he's kind of he knows how to work the media. He knows how to talk. He's a smart man. He's an intelligent man. And he knows his main objective was the top 4. And I think it's also, after the cup final, it's also a bit of talk to the board saying, yeah, I know I shouldn't have lost the final. But remember, you told me top 4 was the big one. That's what that type of response felt to me.
Yeah, totally. I mean, to be honest with you, it's even though we were 6 points off, like I never thought we'd get top 4 anyway. To be honest with you, I didn't think you'd do it.
Because I did, weirdly. I don't know why. It was blind confidence. 100%.
I don't know, man. I just think.
But I was just said, then we'll get top 4. Don't worry.
I just think the way that Tuchel's done it, going to a 3 at the back and kind of being more not pragmatic, because we still play attacking. It's like more of an attacking 3 at the back, but it's still obviously in some of their games we've been, like Mount said on one of the games, defensive first. Sometimes you can almost see we're trying to not letting goals first off, if you get what I mean. It's not defensive, but that's kind of what we're trying to do. Still trying to score, obviously, but yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, when he first came in, I was just thinking he's going to come in with kind of like, he's going to want to play this nice football. We've got no time. He's going to probably try and play 4 at the back. He's got no time to figure out his best team, to train, to do anything. We're just going to be, up, down, win, lose kind of thing. But we've gone on we went on like a mad run. So that's what I just didn't expect. I didn't expect it to click because I thought he was going to, go 4 at the back and then just drill different instructions into players. But what he's done is he's gone three at the back, which quite a lot of the players are familiar with. And even if you're not familiar with three at the back, it's not that hard to play. Like, it's really not. It's like one of the most comfortable formations, especially if you're in the defence. So, yeah, I think
And especially when you're a team that actually played three at the back not long ago.
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. It's smart for him to do that. Like, maybe next season when we see a pre-season, we'll see, I'm sure we'll see a four at the back. And then if it doesn't work, we'll go back to three at the back. So we don't have that tactical versatility yet because it's not the time to try things as such. But that's why I think he's done a really good job, because he said, no, we're sticking to this and we're just going to get results. And yeah, man, that's why I really like. I'm shocked at the job he's done, because I just didn't expect that. I expected him to be, like just really experimental, but he's not been. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I agree. I 100% agree. That's what we're going to see next season. We're going to see more fluidity. We're going to see the Tuchel that kind of a lot of us almost expected from the start, where we're seeing almost a new formation almost every game, formation changes in games, but not in a bad way where they ruin everything, but more in like a really good way. It's like, we can do this, we can do that. It doesn't matter. We're going to be great in everything. So, it's one of those. And Justice keeps saying this, and I know that's what he did, but I'm still a slight bit hesitant. I think in the Premier League, he will want to have a three quite often. Because if you think about it, he still has a three quite often. The reason why Mount plays every game in the front three is because he's the guy that can almost make it a midfield three super comfortably. That's not that Mount doesn't do super, like loads of other great things, but that's the big thing he has over all the other players that occupy those positions. And he can do that, and he does do it more than all the other ones. Pulisic doesn't have the legs to do it. Ziyech doesn't have the work rate, the motivation to do it. And Havertz, for some reason, doesn't have the I don't know, what's the word I'm looking for? The awareness to do it, in my opinion, in those roles, at least for the time being. I think he can get there, but for the time being, he seems to struggle with these things. But it's the only one that can do that. Check Bell Silva's Twitter. That's what Pice just told me. Let me see. Bell.
She's honestly class, man. Honestly. She's class. Bro, she is so into Chelsea. It's actually crazy, man.
Just to show you guys what she tweeted, is obviously a picture of the whole fight that's happened, and she's like, "That's right. Show you who's boss." That is very funny. That is very funny. A big fan. I'm a big fan. In terms of overall performance rating, I would. You say not if Lukaku comes. Well, don't really see what that got to do with having three midfield or not. I just a little bit worried about getting overrun, depending on which centre back and DM we sign. But anyway, overall rating, I would give it an 8.
I think I'd agree, just because of all the missed chances we had.
Yeah, no, that's the main reason, of course.
Yeah, I think all the missed chances, and I don't think there is an and. Obviously, the goal wasn't. I mean, it was only one player's fault. It wasn't Mendy's fault. Kovacic lost the ball. So, yeah, I mean, we got lucky at the end that Perez missed that. That was the only other thing. But all-round performance was good. It's just I want another Palace game, man, where we just score like 4 goals. Like, I just miss those days where we're clinical. Like, that day was so brilliant. I couldn't believe my eyes, because we scored pretty much every shot. I was like, what is going on?
Yeah, especially like the first 10-15 minutes, it was a madness. Like, I was like, this is amazing. Well, but to be honest, we scored 4 goals that game. We should have scored 8. I mean, Havertz himself should have scored 3, if not 4.
Yeah, but it was like before that, I was like, oh, it's going to be really boring. We're going to try and break down this deep block, and then we just score like 4 goals. So I was like, fair enough. So I just want that another. If it's not Villa, then I want it next season more often, because I miss those days, man. They're brilliant.
Yeah. Hey, you never know. Champions League final.
Jeez, that would be something in the history books. that would really
imagine like we do to them what Barcelona women did to Chelsea women.
Bro, I saw someone earlier say, a Man City fan said, I'm really worried one day he's just going to cash in all his expected goals, and it's going to be against us in the Champions League final. He's just going to get like 2 chances, not miss, and then the game's going to be over. And I was thinking, I just sat down from it. I was like, damn, that was a dream. Like, that's a dream if he does that.
Honestly, and then they attack. Obviously, we hit them on the break. He gets his hat trick. Imagine Timo Werner gets a hat trick in the Champions League final. Like, we talk about that Torres goal, or £50 million have just been repaid, bro. If Timo Werner scores a hat trick in the Champions League final, he can do whatever the hell he wants for the rest of his Chelsea career. I don't care.
Especially with all the support he's getting now with the misses. Like, imagine if he did that. That'd just be that'd be another thing.
He could not score a single goal all season, and people would still sing his name.
Bro, it's actually crazy. I didn't think the fans would like sing his name that much. Honestly, I thought it'd be more like
I saw a few like outside, like in pubs and stuff ahead of the final as well. I saw a few, and I saw a couple of good songs, which I didn't necessarily hear today yet, which I'm sad about. Obviously, these types of the fancy songs, they take a while to almost spread to everybody, because obviously you almost need to know the words to know what's going on, right? Especially when it's 8,000 people spread across a whole stadium rather than 8,000 people just in a Matthew Harding or whatever. It's easier to spread the same song across. But yeah, no, I was very happy to see it. And, you know, as much as I've had my dislikes for Timo Werner, I've said this before, this one interview he gave, it's literally on the Chelsea FC YouTube channel. Check it out with the two Americans. It's like what's it called? Not Unscripted. That's the one with that Jay does. What's the other one called? What's literally the podcast. They have a name for it. You know what I mean anyway, guys. Just watch that. That interview, that almost changed everything on me. I'm like, oh, I like you now. Off you go. Do something. I love this celebration after the handball goal. Yeah. And honestly, do you have a retainer, Laos? No, I don't, mate. It was so sad because so many people, like, you could see it in the ground, and maybe you were the same. I celebrated the offside goal. I didn't clock it was offside initially. I was like, fuck. Then he scored, and I never even considered the fact that could have been handball. I was sure he wasn't offside, so I celebrated that. And then I was shouting my lungs out for the penalty before that. I was like, what is going on? And then when Rudiger did score, I was like, I didn't even celebrate until I saw the replay. So that was infuriating to me. Like, people have a go at VAR. You're not wrong, but at the same time, I still think back to the Barnsley game and how much it triggered me that we didn't get that penalty for you know, that game could have gone so differently. If Tammy then doesn't later head the ball over, we could go out of Barnsley. I mean, I suppose we wouldn't have had the frustration of Saturday of the FA Cup final, but VAR does bad things, but also there's other games. Bruh, it's a bad one. It's a bad. You know what? That is a fair point. Timo knows VAR exists. He knows full well that hit his hand. Why does he celebrate like that?
He said, I think after the game, he was like, I knew it hit my hand, but he said it was like really weird. He said he knew it hit my hand, but it only hit it a little bit or something like that. So I was like, well, it's hit your hand then, hasn't it? Like, did you just...
Maybe he just, even if he knew the goal wouldn't stand, he would still want to have a celebration with fans or something.
I think he said, I knew it hit my hand, but I didn't realise how much. Like, I don't know if you thought it'd get away with it, but it was a bit weird.
Yeah, it was a bit weird. Hey, maybe he was like, he saw the Perez handball on the weekend and was like, well, if it only hit your hand a little bit. I suppose in theory, if it hit his hand coming from his head or coming from his leg, then maybe they wouldn't have ruled it out. For that very reason, they didn't rule out Tielemans' goals. Maybe that's what he was banking on, but still, it's quite funny. At the end of the day, I mean, you say it should have been 2-2. It should have been 6-0 at half time, so I don't know what you're talking about. Because someone said it earlier, we were lucky that Perez missed his shot late on. Yes, we were, but it was about bloody time we got some luck. Because the amount of bad luck we've had this season, even in wins, the amount of the fact that we didn't win nearly every game on the Tuchel about 4-0 is bad luck in itself, let's be honest. I mean, of course, sometimes it's bad finishing, but a lot of the times it's also bad luck, right? I mean, the fact that we lost the FA Cup final, you can talk about the performance, but he scored from 35 yards, while Schmeichel pulled off 2 wonder saves, and Chilwell was this far offside while we had no idea where the ball was on Thiago Silva's foot or not. So, bad luck. We were unlucky not to win the FA Cup final, and we were unlucky not to be 6-0 up by half time. So, I'm not taking, we were lucky that, you know, Perez didn't equalise. No, it's about time we didn't get unlucky, in my opinion. That's what that was. And even the Arsenal goal, right? I mean, you can talk about the Zuma and you can talk about the back pass from Jorginho. The fact that Kepa's clearance falls directly to Emil Smith Rowe's foot rather than a few yards wide. And then by that point, defenders can get back. Kepa is on his line again, and we can probably block it. There's so much bad luck in that. It's crazy. Pies, any comments?
Oh yeah, my mic was on mute, bro.
Okay.
I don't know. It's like, I don't really have much to say, to be honest. It's just that Arsenal game was very annoying to me. I just don't want to think about it, to be honest.
Yeah, no, it really was super annoying. It really was. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm just going to ask a couple of more questions to Pies. Just a quick fire is back. Big fan. Going to do that. But before we get into that, a few quick fire questions, a few things we're going to discuss. Ladies and gentlemen, we still have 235 people watching. Make sure you smash the like button. I know we just hit 100, but come on, we need to get at least 150. There's still 133 of you that at least, because some of you might have left already, that haven't clicked the like button. Go down below. It doesn't cost you any money. It doesn't cost you any time. We're just talking anyway, and you can still hear us just as much. Just go down below and click the like button. And of course, subscribe if you haven't already. But honestly, massively appreciate it. It means the world to me. It's one little click of a button. Hit that big red subscribe button underneath right now. That would be massively appreciated. And why don't you go do that right now? And of course, use the super chat function if you want to. And let me get rid of this moving thing at the bottom. Let's get to the quick fire questions by Yusuf. Big yourself, Yusuf, saying Lukaku, Haaland, or Kane. It was one of the questions I was going to pose to you anyway, Pies. Lukaku, Haaland, or Kane? Hit me.
If they're all available, saying in an ideal world, it's definitely Kane for me first off. Second would be Lukaku, just because he has played in the Premier League as well and he's in his prime. Haaland third, not anything against him, but still he's a young project and you never know what he's going to be like in the Premier League. So I think those would be in the order that I'd go with, but any one of those, and we're title contenders anyway. So yes, please.
Yeah, I mean, we've discussed the whole Lukaku thing before. I think Lukaku is sadly a position where only when he comes back will we know how much the improvement was down to league and how much that improvement is him. Everybody will have different opinions. A real proof of that will only be if he comes here or if he comes to another Prem team. Until then, it's only speculation. So I think a clear number one is Harry Kane. Will that ever happen? No chance. Tottenham haven't sold a player to Chelsea in over 40 years. We couldn't get Modric, who wasn't anywhere near the level of Spurs player. Not in terms of ability, you could say it was almost as good or whatever, but in terms of status at the club, for the club in England, blah, blah, blah. It's not going to happen. Like we could literally throw an entire bank at them, and I don't think Levy would let him go to us. I would still pick Haaland over Lukaku personally. I know you disagree, but for me, it's like I also have to look at it a little bit from a club's perspective, and I'm like, these guys would all probably, well, Kane even more, probably cost in total like 250 million wages and transfer fee. Lukaku probably cost 180 to 200 million in total of transfer fee and wages, and you get barely any of that back because they're 28. You give them a 4 or 5 year contract.
Did you just say how much did you say for Lukaku?
200 million.
No,
180 to 200 million.
No chance.
No, it is.
No.
Well, that's what the Belgian journalist said anyway. So that's what I'm going by.
All right, but I think it'll be way cheaper because of their financial situation.
No, of course, no, but that's not transfer fee, right? I'm talking that includes wages, and the more his transfer fee goes down, the bigger of a sign-on fee we'll have. The bigger that's how it works. That's the only reason why I could see Haaland maybe moving the summer after, because he knows he gets bigger wages if he moves a year later.
I think we'll end up signing him anyway, just because like we're getting a big striker this summer. Like who else is there? I don't think we'll get Haaland. I think he'll stay. Kane. I don't know. I've read something as well. I think Manchester, like one of their reliable reporters was saying he doesn't want to move across London because of Spurs.
Wasn't that Sunday dude, that Edwards guy, Kevin something, who's been giving us all that waffle? I feel like
I saw it it was posted by a few people. I saw it like a couple of times. But Man City fans were saying he was quite reliable, so I don't know, but. Yeah, that would be amazing if Kane could happen, but I just think Lukaku's most realistic, just because, especially if Kante leaves, I think Lukaku will leave, but I think if Kante stays, then I think Lukaku will stay. So
exactly, and that's what worries me a little bit, because if we want to put all our eggs in that basket, it could take weeks and months for a decision whether Kante stays or leaves to happen. So it could take even longer for Lukaku to be sure whether he even wants to leave. And by that point, a possible Haaland transfer could be out the window. Hence why I don't want to focus on that too much, if that makes sense. And yes, I mean, that's the report that's come out of Italy. But even if it's Italian clubs, Italian reporters know F-all, aside from Fabrizio Romano. They're all talking crap because they just want to get in the big time of the English media, the German media, the French media. They all do. So if they give you a small number, that's so everybody talks about it. I guarantee it. It will be more than 80 million. I'm not saying he will be 150 like has been talked about, or 130 like some people have said. I don't think that much, but I think it will be anywhere between 90 and 100 million euros in total. But his wages will just be astronomical. I mean, he's 28. He's at his prime. We're signing him from a champion. Anyways, for me, it's just a tad Haaland higher than Lukaku, but Kane is obviously the number one. I completely got rid of the quick fire. There we are. I completely forgot about them. Then we have Wigan Kebab, Arabic Wigan Kebab. I don't even know what that is. Do you know what that is?
No idea what he's on about, not gonna lie. I have no idea.
I have no idea. I have no idea. And let's go to the next question. Liverpool or Leicester to qualify alongside Chelsea for the Champions League. Who would you prefer?
Who would I prefer? Leicester, obviously, but I think Liverpool will get it. I think Leicester are going to bottle again.
Yeah.
I just don't see a world where Liverpool play Europa League. Like, that would just be weird to me. So I think it won't happen. That's how I always view things.
To be honest, it's fair enough. I will tell you. I will say it like this. Because I actually like Leicester, obviously the final made me like them a little bit less than what Amartey did and blah, blah, blah. And all some of their antics. But I think Leicester, for them to really ever make the step to be properly one of the big six and not only somehow be there and no one really knows how. I think they need to, first of all, grow as a squad. And I think they need, like the fact that they got beat by Slavia Prague this season shows they're not ready for Champions League. Like they need to get a Europa League season, get a good run, get to a quarters, a semis, maybe even a final, because they have the ability to do so, right? And only then I think is it good for them to go to the Champions League. And I know Leicester fans will disagree. They just want Champions League football. And totally, if I was them, I would say the same thing. But I just think, if I only think of them as a club, I think it would be better for them to actually be Europa League, but actually make a good run. And also, I don't know, Liverpool will do more in the Champions League. So, I don't know, rules out more good opponents in the round of 16 if Liverpool top their group, and Leicester wouldn't probably top their group. I wonder what pot Leicester would be in the Champions League draw. Would they be pot 3 or pot 4? Pot 3 probably, wouldn't they?
So, yeah, I think so. Yeah.
But even that at a stretch, probably. They've only made it past the group stages twice in their history.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be great for them, obviously. It'd be great for them, obviously, but in terms of, it'd be great for us as well, because, you know, we could end up drawing Liverpool later stages. So, I don't know.
Yeah, I suppose. It's a tough one. It's a tough one.
Like,
Leicester, small club.
Real Madrid again, wouldn't you? Or, you know, you'd rather play one of the Spanish teams instead of Liverpool in a semi.
Leicester a better team than Chelsea, full stop. I mean, you're clearly a Leicester fan, and clearly you're wrong, because we were the better team on Saturday, and it took a wonder strike to beat us. And we should have beaten you 6-0 today. So you're wrong. Also, we're ahead of you in the league now, so unlucky, mate. Anyway, yeah, no, obviously, we'd prefer to play Real Madrid, Barcelona, I don't know, Inter, whatever the situation may be. It's always more fun. Oh, you're not a Leicester fan? Fair enough. Whoever you are then. But ladies and gentlemen, I think we're going to wrap it up here. I really do appreciate every single one of you that has tuned in. It's 1:25 a.m. for me right now, so, you know, I'm tired. I still have to hang up my laundry because I haven't done that yet. So that's an L for me. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I really do appreciate every single one of you that has tuned in. Of course, check out Pys at CFCPys. The link is down in the description on Twitter. Follow him if you don't already. You absolutely must, because I appreciate him joining me on these streams, especially at these crazy times, at all times. I mean, hey, I can't force him to do nothing. We'll see what happens.
No,
Maybe
sorry, no.
Whatever you're wearing on that picture, maybe you just put your camera on, but wear that on your camera or whatever. Anyway, why not? Exactly. I mean, like memulous. You know, I'm sure people know the YouTube memulous. Get glasses on, a hat on, a bandana around your face. Why not? Or just a face mask because, you know, the global times anyway. But yeah, like I said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys for watching. If you haven't already, please be sure to subscribe. Smash the like button if you haven't already. Become a member if you fancy. There's a join button underneath your desktop or link in the description if you're on your phone. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Up the Chelsea, upwards and onwards. I appreciate all of you. Let's hope we can make top 4 hours on Sunday, or maybe before that, if Liverpool drop points against Burnley tomorrow. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Up the Chelsea, and I'll see you next time.